In the early 12th century, the First Crusade had left a profound mark on the Christian world. While the Crusaders celebrated their conquest of Jerusalem, many of them returned to their homelands in Europe, carrying with them stories of distant lands, treasures, and most importantly, the immense danger faced by pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land. However, their rise to prominence was anything but ordinary. The Templar Order was shrouded in mystery from the very beginning. The Templars were thought to have been in possession of ancient relics that connected them directly to the sacred history of Christianity, especially to the Temple of Solomon in Jerusalem, which lent its name to the order. Some believed that the Templars guarded the secret knowledge of the Grail, while others speculated that they had discovered something even more powerful lost, knowledge from the ancient world that could change the course of history. Although they were founded to protect pilgrims, rumors and speculation about their rituals, beliefs, and the artifacts they guarded began to swirl almost immediately. The influence of their military, might, and financial power meant that even kings and popes had to tread carefully when dealing with them. In fact, their political power was such that they even became involved in the affairs of European monarchs. But as with any organization with so much power, the Templars eventually attracted enemies. Their rise, their hidden rituals, and their dramatic fall have left a trail of intrigue that spans centuries. In the following sections, we will delve deeper into the mysteries of the Templars' rituals, their symbolism, and the enduring myths that have made them legends. Through exploring their secret knowledge and hidden treasures, we will attempt to uncover what made the Templars so unique and why their legacy continues to capture the hearts and minds of people around the world. King Philip IV of France, deeply in debt to the order, saw the Templars as a threat to his own authority and wealth. In 1307, on the orders of Pope Clement V, Philip moved to arrest all the Templars in France, accusing them of heresy, idolatry, and blasphemy. This marked the beginning of the end for the order. These ceremonies, shrouded in sacred oaths, were unlike any other in medieval society. Despite the fall of the Templars, their myth persisted, growing over time as stories of their secret knowledge and hidden treasures became part of popular lore. The Templars' secret rituals and symbols have continued to influence various secret societies throughout history, such as the Freemasons, whose rituals bear a striking resemblance to those of the Templars. These rituals and their symbols have found their way into modern culture, appearing in everything from literature to popular films, and continue to inspire people's imaginations. The mysteries of the Templars, the Grail, and their esoteric beliefs continue to captivate historians, scholars, and mystery enthusiasts to this day. A new initiate to the Templar Order underwent a series of tests that not only bound them to a life of loyalty and service, but also involved a deep connection to esoteric knowledge. The initiation rituals were said to involve mysterious symbols, sacred vows, and the use of secret handshakes or gestures that were only shared among members. New recruits were sworn to secrecy, bound by oaths that they could never reveal the inner workings of the order, and were taught to defend their brotherhood at all costs. The secrecy of the Templar Order led to widespread speculation about what they actually practiced behind closed doors. Were they merely a military force defending Christianity, or was there something far more enigmatic going on behind the scenes? Despite being under the protection of the Catholic Church, the Templars were seen by some as a secretive, even dangerous, group. Their iconic red cross on a white cloak became instantly recognizable and was meant to symbolize their commitment to Christ. However, their shield also contained many other symbols, each with its own meaning, some of which may have had esoteric or even occult significance. It's important to note that the Templars were not unique in using symbolic imagery. Many medieval knightly orders used symbolic codes to represent various religious, moral, and social virtues. However, the sheer number of symbols used by the Templars, combined with their secretive nature, gave rise to the belief that they might have been in possession of hidden knowledge that had been passed down through ancient traditions. possibly even from the time of the ancient Egyptians or Greeks. Their closed ceremonies, their solitary castles hidden in remote corners of Europe, and their vast network of influence all contributed to the aura of mystery that surrounded them. In the years following their establishment, whispers began to spread about the Templars' knowledge of hidden relics and sacred secrets, with the most famous being the Holy Grail. The Templars quickly gained recognition, not just for their military prowess, but for their financial acumen. While their initial purpose was to provide security for pilgrims, their network expanded, and soon they became the bankers of medieval Europe. They offered a service that was far beyond the scope of their original mission. They provided safe storage for wealth, issuing letters of credit that allowed travelers to access their funds without fear of theft. In just a few decades, the Knights Templar amassed wealth and land that would rival the most powerful monarchies in Europe, making them one of the richest and most influential organizations of their time. It was amidst this turbulent time that the Knights Templar, officially known as the Poor Fellow Soldiers of Christ and the Temple of Solomon, were founded. The origins of the Templar Order trace back to 1119, when a small group of French knights, led by Hugues de Payens, sought to protect these pilgrims, many of whom were robbed, attacked, or murdered on their journeys. Their mission was simple: to provide a safe passage for those journeying to the Holy Land, and to safeguard the Christian relics said to be hidden there. At first glance, the Templars may have appeared like a typical medieval religious military order, bound by the strictest monastic vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. But what set the Templars apart from other military orders wasn't just their finances. This was a time when myths and legends ran deep, and the lines between religion, power, and mysticism were often blurred. The Templars' mystique was not helped by the secrecy of their initiation rituals. The Templars also had a unique and intricate symbolism that further fueled these rumors. Though much of the information about their hidden beliefs remains speculative, it's clear that the Templars held a powerful place in the medieval world. Though many of the accusations against the Templars were fabricated or exaggerated, the order was disbanded, and its members were either executed or absorbed into other religious orders. Their legacy, however, did not end with their disbandment. The Templars remain one of the most enigmatic and fascinating aspects of medieval history. The Knights Templar, a medieval military order, were not just warriors fighting on behalf of Christianity. They were also a group steeped in mystery, secrecy, and ritual. Founded in 1119, the order's primary purpose was to protect pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land during the Crusades. But as time passed, the Templars became more than just defenders of Christian faith. They became one of the most powerful and enigmatic organizations of the medieval world, their inner workings hidden behind an aura of mysticism and secrecy. The order's initiation rituals were a fundamental part of their identity. According to legend, the Templars were tasked with guarding and unearthing the lost treasures of the Temple of Solomon. Though it is difficult to separate fact from myth, some speculate that the Templars practiced alchemy, astrology, and other arcane arts. These practices, which combined ancient knowledge with Christian teachings, were seen by some as heretical, while others believed them to be a means of connecting with the divine. Some historians argue that the Templars' interest in such practices was rooted in their desire to understand the hidden laws of the universe, laws that could lead to greater spiritual enlightenment and power. Legends about their hidden treasures and secret rituals continued to thrive. Their rituals, symbols, and the myths surrounding their secrets continued to captivate the imagination. Though their true legacy may never be fully understood, their mysticism, secrecy, and spiritual warrior ethos continue to influence modern culture, ensuring that their story will never be forgotten. Over the centuries, the Templars' legacy has been intertwined with stories of mystical knowledge, secret societies, and hidden power. The Freemasons, a fraternal organization often associated with the Templars, adopted many of their symbols and rituals, linking the Templars to later secret societies. Additionally, the Templar influence has been felt in literature, art, and film, where they are often depicted as guardians of ancient knowledge, protectors of sacred relics, and figures of mystery. Some even believed that the Templars possessed the Ark of the Covenant, or the Holy Grail, sacred relics said to have been hidden in the temple. The Grail, the cup believed to have been used by Jesus at the Last Supper, has long been associated with divine power and immortality. As their wealth grew and their influence spread, the Templars attracted the attention of powerful figures, from kings to popes. Eventually, this attention turned into hostility. King Philip IV of France, deeply in debt to the Templars, saw them as a threat to his own authority. In 1307, he ordered the arrest of all Templars in France, accusing them of heresy, idol worship, and blasphemy. The Templars were subjected to intense torture and forced confessions, many of which were fabricated or exaggerated. Despite these brutal actions, the Templars were never completely eliminated, and their mystique lived on long after their official dissolution by Pope Clement V in 1312. Some believed that the Templars were the guardians of this sacred relic, and that they used it in their rituals to gain secret knowledge or power. Whether or not the Templars actually had the Grail, their association with it has fueled centuries of speculation and intrigue. The connection between the Templars, the Holy Grail, and other ancient relics became one of the most captivating aspects of the Order's mystique, inspiring countless stories, legends, and theories. This connection to the Temple of Solomon, and by extension to the mystical and ancient knowledge of the Hebrew Scriptures, reinforced the idea that the Templars were a brotherhood dedicated not only to military conquest, but also to the preservation of hidden knowledge. Becoming a Templar Knight wasn't just about donning armor and swearing to fight for God. It was a deeply spiritual and transformative process. New initiates underwent a ceremony that marked their death to the secular world and rebirth as a devoted servant of God and the Order. However, this simple emblem held deep meaning. The cross wasn't just a symbol of Christianity, but also of sacrifice and protection. For the Templars, the Red Cross symbolized their willingness to fight and die for Christ. Yet, there were other symbols tied to the Templars that pointed to even deeper mysteries. For example, the Templar seal depicted two knights riding a single horse, representing the unity and brotherhood of the Order. Some believed that this was not just a symbol of camaraderie, but also a reflection of divine unity, a sacred connection between the knights and a higher power. This symbol, along with the Order's other emblems and rituals, suggested that the Templars may have believed themselves to be more than just soldiers. They were spiritual warriors, connected to ancient, hidden truths that few could understand. This symbolic death was central to their philosophy: to leave behind personal ties, family, and worldly possessions, and become a part of something greater, a brotherhood of knights dedicated to a sacred cause. One of the most important aspects of the initiation ritual was the oath of secrecy. Upon joining the Order, knights swore an oath to never reveal the inner workings of the Templar Order or the secrets they guarded. This oath created an air of mystery, and it wasn't long before rumors began to swirl. What exactly were the Templars doing behind closed doors? Were their ceremonies merely religious, or did they involve something more? Whispers of hidden ancient knowledge, of secret Gnostic rituals, and even of possession of the Holy Grail became part of the Templar legend. The Templar cross, a red cross on a white mantle, is perhaps the most recognizable symbol of the Order. The Temple of Solomon played a central role in Templar beliefs. Alongside the symbolism, the Templars' rituals were thought to involve mysticism and esoteric practices. One of the most enduring myths surrounding the Templars is their supposed possession of the Holy Grail. The Templars' symbolic and ritualistic practices were closely guarded, and their power and secrecy made them the subject of both awe and fear. The fall of the Templars did not mark the end of their story. The Knights Templar remain one of the most enigmatic and fascinating organizations of the Middle Ages. The dramatic downfall of the Knights Templar remains one of the most shocking events in medieval history. For nearly 2 centuries, the order had been a symbol of power, wealth, and mystery. But by the early 14th century, its once imposing presence was crumbling. The Templars had become one of the most influential military orders in Europe, their vast wealth and international influence rivaling that of monarchs. On October 13, 1307, hundreds of Templars were arrested in France, including the Grand Master Jacques de Molay. They were accused of committing a wide range of crimes, including spitting on the cross, worshipping idols, and engaging in strange, secretive rituals. The Pope, who had been under the influence of the French monarchy, reluctantly signed the papal bull that dissolved the order and ordered the confiscation of its assets. The Templars were effectively erased from official history, and their wealth and lands were transferred to other religious institutions, most notably the Knights Hospitaller. Despite the dissolution of the order, the legacy of the Templar Knights continued to linger, their myths and secrets gaining a new, even darker significance in the centuries to come. The Freemasons, whose rituals and symbols bear a striking resemblance to those of the Templars, adopted many of the same symbols, such as the square and compass, the Templar cross, and other esoteric motifs. Books, films, and works of fiction, such as Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code, have continued to weave the Templar myth into modern culture. Some claim that the Templar treasure, which was never recovered, is hidden somewhere in Europe, waiting to be discovered. Others believe that the Templars continue to operate in secret, watching over the world's most sacred and powerful relics. While these claims are likely fanciful, they show just how deeply the Templars' legacy has infiltrated modern imagination. They are portrayed as secret guardians of ancient truths, keepers of the Holy Grail, and even as part of a global conspiracy. These myths, whether based on truth or fantasy, have ensured that the Templars remain one of the most enduring symbols of medieval mystery and intrigue. This connection between the Templars and the Freemasons fueled the belief that the Templars had passed on their hidden knowledge, rituals, and treasures to secret societies, ensuring their legacy would continue in the modern world. Under torture, many of the Templars confessed to crimes that they likely did not commit. In 1314, after years of imprisonment, de Molay was publicly executed by burning at the stake. According to legend, just before his death, de Molay cursed both Pope Clement V and King Philip IV, vowing that they would die within the year. From their mysterious rituals to their alleged connection to powerful relics, the Knights Templar have become an enduring symbol of secrecy, power, and hidden knowledge. Even today, their story continues to fascinate and inspire, offering an intriguing glimpse into the intersection of religion, politics, and mysticism during one of the most fascinating periods in European history. Strangely, both men did indeed pass away within a short time. Pope Clement V died in 1314, and King Philip IV succumbed to an accident in 1315. This dramatic end to the Templar saga fueled the belief that the Templars had been the victims of a vast conspiracy, and it set the stage for many of the myths that would surround the order for centuries. These confessions, extracted through intense physical abuse, were used as evidence in the trials. The dissolution of the Templars only sparked further interest in their hidden knowledge, treasure, and the potential mysteries they had protected. Over time, the Templars became the subject of countless myths and legends, some based on historical facts, others completely fantastical. Perhaps the most famous of these myths is their alleged connection to the Holy Grail. Some believed that the Templars had not only protected the Grail, but had also uncovered its true nature knowledge that could grant them unimaginable power. Others speculated that the Grail had been a symbol of secret mystical knowledge, one that the Templars had been entrusted to guard. The spectacle of the trials and the confessions of the Templars were meant to solidify the king's case. But they also fueled the belief that there was something far darker beneath the surface of the order. However, As with many powerful organizations, their very success attracted the envy and suspicion of both political and religious authorities. Historians still debate whether the Templars truly engaged in the heretical practices they were accused of, or whether they were the victims of a power struggle between a determined king and a powerful institution. What is clear, however, is that the downfall of the Templars was the result of both political ambition and religious conflict. The most significant blow to the Templars came from King Philip IV of France, known as Philip the Fair. Deeply indebted to the Templars for large sums of money, Philip saw their immense wealth as both a blessing and a threat. He began to view the order's power as a challenge to his authority. As he struggled with mounting debts and political pressures, he sought to eliminate the Templars in order to seize their fortune. In 1307, Philip accused the Templars of heresy, idolatry, and corruption, charges that were as much politically motivated as they were based on any real misdeeds. The process of dismantling the Templars was as swift as it was brutal. Despite the brutal nature of the charges and the subsequent trials, some scholars argue that the accusations against the Templars were largely unfounded. In 1312, under pressure from King Philip IV, Pope Clement V officially disbanded the Templar Order. The fate of Jacques de Molay, the Grand Master of the Templars, is perhaps one of the most symbolic moments in the Order's history. Despite the dramatic end of the Templar Order, its secrets and rituals did not vanish with their disbandment. These theories were further popularized by the Freemasons, many of whom claimed to be the modern heirs to the Templar tradition. In the centuries following the Templars' fall, the legends surrounding them only grew. Even today, there are still those who believe that the Templar secrets were not fully revealed. The Templars' fall may have been swift, but their legacy has endured for centuries.